Welcome to my Hebrew channel, Mielabraika. I'm looking at Ruth 3 verse 7. It's a verse in which things are moving along. It starts out with what Boaz does, and we look into that. It's a meal and having a few drinks, and then on to what Ruth does. So the story moves forward, some interesting things in here, and some good things happening. So let's get into the studies. I'm using the Codex, of course, the very old 1,100-year-old copy of the scriptures, and we do see some of the things that our scribe does for us here. I find that at first, when you first start using this kind of handwritten things, things can be a little bit hard to find. But once you got it figured out, it actually is. In some ways, it's easier even than the printed text because they've put everything into it, even though rafes are there. And at first, you kind of understand why rafes weren't put into modern translation, but later on, you find out they're somewhat helpful. So it's not that they change things much, but they can help us in the reading. So let's get on to the study. And we're here at Ruth 3, verse 7. Verse 7 begins right in here. Verse 6, the last three words that we have on the top here are from verse 6, Asher Shivata Hamota, and that is which the mother-in-law ordered to her. So it commanded to her, Shivat, feminine suffix form of to order. So Asher Shivata Hamota. Siluk, Sof Pasuk, nice ending to verse 6. Sometimes our scribe doesn't bother with the Sof Pasuk, but here it is. And then Va, Yochal, and then he ate. This he ate is Boaz ate, and then Boaz ate. Okay, he had some food to consume some food, and the word here means in strength. The man who is in strength ate something. Va, Yish, Shet. Okay, the yod here has a dagish in it, so. Yeshet, and then he drank. Okay, Yeshet. This you're gonna have to consider this as this is a long syllable here. So take the next syllable when you see a shava begin a syllable, it's a closed syllable. So this one will give you the shet, and then this one will give you the closing of the this one is simply a silent shava closing off the syllable here. Yeshet. There's a dagish in here, so you're going to have to punch the T a little bit, the tau. So, va, shet, shet, shet. Va, ye, tav. Okay. This, quite often, okay, you do have a dagish in here. So if you were going to line up in a transliteration, you'd have three yods all in a row. I think they only stick two because this one just simply is the prefixing of yatav, that is, it was good. Okay, tav is to be good. Appears as tov, appears as an adjective a whole lot more, but this is the verbal form of it. We've seen it before in our studies as Naomi telling Ruth, "Hey, I have to find things that will go well with you." So, but yatav then is in that sense of things will go well, things should be well. Yatav, lebo, and then it was good, his heart. This connection of yatav and lebo, his heart, this is somewhat closely connected to the word to drink here. Now, I looked it up, Esther 1 verse 10, King Ahasuerus, he says his heart was good with yayin, with wine. In other words, this is one sort of simple way or very sly way of saying that yeah, he was slightly tipsy. Wasn't entirely drunk. He could still walk over there, could still lie down at the threshing floor, but his heart was happy. Harvest was good, people are good, life is good, and he has a little bit of wine too. Normally, the consumption of wine, especially in patriarchs, led to a lot of bad things. We see it with Noah, we see it with Lot, we see it with Ahasuerus, of course, and so yeah, consuming alcohol or overconsumption of alcohol is a very bad thing. A little bit here just sort of prepares what's happening. So that's the way we have to understand it. He's just had a little bit, and his heart is happy because of it. And va yavo, and then he came. Okay, very well-known verb of to come or arrive or to go to. And then he went to, or he came. This is the root here is bet vav aleph. The vav has gone through syncope. So it's just simply the base. This is the one that often appears this way. And I think we'll have it again here. We'll get to that. So vayabo, and then he came. Lishkav, okay, to lie down. In the previous study, I said you take a good look at this kav and the kaf. Okay, kaf. Kaf is the palm of the hand, right? The inside of the hand, and so he lies down. Okay, he curls up. That's the literal sense of what's happening here. Anytime you have a lamed in front of a verb, you're going to be looking at infinitive, and so to curl up. Okay, to curl up, to lie down, to curl up. Bik she. At the end of. Keshe is at the end of, in the end. Okay, so you have a preposition in, and then keshe is the end of, the far end of, edge of, or end of. Ha-ar-ma, of the heap. Now, we'll get a sense of where this is coming from because of the resh mem. Okay, ram means a lots. Okay, so it's a big heap. It's a large heap, a visible heap. It probably would. I mean, if you had a whole crew of people working through 2 harvests, the heap of grain is going to get pretty good. Especially, well, by all accounts, it was a good harvest. That's why his heart is good. His heart is happy. So he's lying at the end of that heap of grain. It doesn't say anything about grain here, just simply the heap. This one is the word is, it's a singular here, but it's very much related to omorim and shebuim and all these kind of words that seem to run with a lot of resh in them. So omorim, amarim, and so forth. So here it's arama, the heap, the pile of grain. Nice little atna right here, closing off this half of the verse, and so it's the logical separation of the first part of the verse to the second part of the verse, and this is the atna, does that for us. And yeah, pausal form then of this particular word. It's a noun. And then good reason, because right here, we saw here at the start that it starts out with yod, with yochal, and we move on to tabo, and then she came. The tau here shows a gender shift from masculine and feminine, and of course, based on context, this then is Ruth. So then she came. Balat. Balat means secretly, covertly, quietly. The word lat is a cloak that covers something, and so you're coming. I looked it up. It says that even David when David went to Saul and cut the edge off of his cloak, he did so balat. Our dictionaries will list this under lamet tet, but there's about 8 or 10 times that we see it with balat. I like to remember my mnemonic for this is because it looks a lot like balam, which means a jaguar in Maya who stealthily comes through, very stealthily, secretly approaches. There's a lot to be said for this. Many times when we have to do something, do it quietly, do it behind the scenes, do it out of sight. At some point, it probably will come out, but if you're going to have to discuss something important, do it in a quiet manner, so that it's much less threatening and much do it very quietly. So this is what she's doing here. Batabo balat. Incidentally, this is done very exactly the way that Naomi has been teaching her. She's got a lot of training in this matter right here. So batabo balat. Tagal. Okay, about Tagal. Gal here is unrolled, uncovered. Gal is we've known as the thing that is rolled up, something that is rolled, and then here, yeah, she rolls the robe that's above his feet. And in that day, in fact, she was also covered with her own robe. So she then took that roll that was at the feet, rolled it up from over the feet, and then placed herself underneath that. So at the feet. So Tagal, and then she rolled up, she uncovered Maragalav. Now this here, as I said, is a very much Ragal is to go walking. And things that go walking are the feet. Maragalim are the ones, spies who go walking. This is the construct form. It's a different one. This is really the only kind there's one other time in Daniel that's used this way, but the construct form is basically just for Ruth. And there's a sense also, this does make this into a noun, but there's also a sense of being the what would you call a prepositional thing, from, okay, from the feet, okay, me, from, okay. The full separate preposition would be min, but here it's ma, okay, ma regalatav. Both the Hebrew has the ability to take a single consonant and use it for two or three things, and that I would say at one point this mem is making this into a noun. The other one is an important noun, a noun that does something, and then the other one is also as a preposition to from on top of the feet, then regalatav. Again, a nice plural of the four times that we see it. Three of them are plural, and the one is singular. Now we're going to get into difficulties, sort of the interesting aspects of that one. So regalatav, from his feet. And yeah, that reference here to this suffix pronoun is Boaz. And we get to the end right here, verse 7. We have siluk sopasuk, and then again a prefixed verb of tishkav, and then she laid there. So there's the cuff right here, and she curled up there. Okay, and kind of visualizing what's happening. There's the feet, and she curls up over against the feet like that. Just warmth, seeking protection, seeking rescue, seeking goel, seeking redemption. Those are things that are coming now in the future part of our story here. So there are times in our lives when we have to discuss things with others, and it has to be done quietly because it might be threatening, it might be embarrassing, might be troublesome. New Testament mentioned if somebody has sinned against you, go and speak to them one-on-one and do things quietly. Often the best things that we can do with others is to discuss things in a very quiet, very calm manner. And we see this here. She goes balat, okay, goes very discreetly. This part of the story, even though later on became a very much a well-read story, at this point in time, discretion was a big deal here. So there are times when we have to be quiet in our conversations with others, and here we see a good example of that. So may the Lord bless you and give you wisdom as you discuss important things from one to the other inside of families or with neighbors or people that you are working with. The quiet voice often carries much further than just shouting and screaming. Shouting and screaming gets people all upset. The quiet voice can communicate heart to heart, and that's one of the most important things that we can do when we're working with others, especially if we're sharing the gospel. No, do so quietly. Do so, hey, this is what I know of the gospel, and kindly consider it. So this balat here goes a long ways when you are when you do things quietly and simply. It can be a good thing. So God bless and God strengthen you in this day, and until the next time.